Another thing, we just had one of the better fights of the year in Rob Font versus Jose, the King of Rio. That was an unbelievable fight. When I was going through, looking at everything, I mean, the main matchup that sticks out to me is, you know what you got to do? You got to give our boy, Merab Dvalishvili. You got to give Merab. That sand man. The sand freaking man. Let's go. That matchup would be absolutely killer. Give Merab a freaking main event against Cory Sandhagen. I think that making sense wise, I think that makes sense. Money, it's there. Fan interest, 100% there. Cory Sandhagen, he's done absolutely fantastic. He basically beat TJ Dillashaw, and then he just lost to the undisputed Piotr Jan. Yeah, you got to do that. I think if that fight happens, I'm going to become an absolute legend, because I think a lot of people are thinking right now that you could give Rob Font to Merab because that's the 5-6, but I just really am digging that freaking Sandhagen Merab matchup. It will not get any better. Cory Sandhagen,
it's very evenly matched, I feel like.
Yeah, here's how that fight will go down. Because Cory's number 3. You think you think he'd you think he'd fight Merab? Cory's the kind of guy that's gonna fight anybody. Here's how that fight's gonna go though. Merab's gonna face a lot of adversity in that fight, and his cardio is what's gonna basically keep him in the fight. Because Cory, he's really good at everything he does, but you can low key kind of get into his head, I feel like, if you're just constantly there and just giving him problems. Because we saw that he gave Piotr Jan a lot to handle in the first round, even though I think Piotr just embraced all of it. Piotr. And low-key, it can... I just honestly believe Merab's fighting style breaks guys. They have success against him at the beginning, just like he had Marlon Moraes basically almost had him out of there. But Merab's will to win is unmatched in the entire UFC roster. And that's why I believe he can get past Cory Sandhagen. And then in terms of him having to fight like Aljamain, which is their buddies, which will be kind of tough. That'll be interesting, but I don't think Merab really cares about that. But I think Merab's an absolute nightmare matchup for TJ, because TJ, as much as he wants to get guys to the ground, I just don't think he has the ability to now, because he wanted to get Sandhagen to the ground, and that was really difficult, but that might just be because of Sandhagen's height. But yeah, TJ is not going to be able to get Merab to the ground. Rob Font, in my opinion, he has great boxing, fights behind his job so well, but I honestly think that Jose Aldo and Merab, those guys have the best chance to become champion. Jose, in my opinion, beats Aljamain Sterling all day, just for striking wise, and I don't think Aljamain Aldo's hips are too strong. You're not going to get him to the ground. He's so difficult to get on the ground and keep there. And
I feel like Aljamain is a little overhyped.
He is good. The thing with Aljamain is he's really good in the first couple rounds, but once you kind of weather the storm, he doesn't have that power to
He doesn't have stamina.
No, he does have some good stamina, but it's just he doesn't have, when it gets into the latter rounds, if he's too tired to take you down, it's just not that much of a threat. You saw that in the Piotr Jan fight, where Piotr got taken down I think once or twice in the first round, but then after that, when he was able to nullify him, he just basically played without Aljamain. He was he did some trips and just threw Aljamain on the ground, and then he just had his way with him on the feet. Aljamain, he didn't have that knockout power later in the fight. He didn't have the ability to take him down, and that's why Piotr is so dangerous. But Merab, he has the ability to withstand and keep everything going throughout the entirety of a fight. So that's what gives him a chance. He has that power throughout the fight. He has the grappling abilities throughout the fight, and I don't think a lot of the guys in the top 5 have that. TJ's not going to be able to get Piotr to the ground. Cory couldn't. TJ's not. Rob Font, definitely not. Jose Aldo, maybe, but we already saw how that fight goes. But Merab, we haven't seen that. It's new, and he's just, in my opinion, the most exciting fighter to watch in the most exciting division. So yeah, I think you give Merab a fight against Cory. I mean, it seems a little bit out there. You could give Merab after, but that just won't be as fun as a Cory fight, because those guys, no matter where it goes, Cory and Merab, they're just gonna have an absolute showcase. No matter if that goes to the ground, the scrambles are gonna be epic. If standing on the feet, it's gonna be epic. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. Jose, he is so unbelievably phenomenal. The performance he put on, I thought he was going to gas out later in the fight, but he didn't, dude. He's an absolute stud. It's just really tough for any of those guys to get back to the title, especially if you already fought him. If you see, because that fight, if you put Aldo against Piotr again, it's going to go the exact same way. That's how good Piotr is. So yeah, you just have to keep throwing the new contenders at Piotr until he gets knocked off. And if there's one division to do it, where you just keep throwing absolute studs in there, it's bantamweight.